and taking care of yourself costs money. The bigger the emergency, the bigger the money. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm pretty excited to do this video because it's the start of Sorted Saturdays. So in this series, what I will be trying to do is to give advice about any particular area of life that I believe needs sorting out. So it might be financial, it might be personal, it might be business, it might be friendship, relationship, anything that I find important, or any suggestions that you may have that you see as important and you may need some help sorting it out. So for this video, this Saturday, what we'll be talking about in specific is having an emergency fund. Funny enough, this week alone I had two friends who the topic came up, or things or situations came up which highlighted the need to just have money in case of an emergency. Always important. I'm sure you've heard people say, oh, you need an emergency fund, you're supposed to have money in case of emergencies, So I'm gonna cover the what, the why, the when, the where, all of these things. I'll just be giving some steps as to how you can achieve it and just trying to guide you so that you don't feel stressed out trying to accomplish this goal. Because really and truly, this is just another step towards financial stability and financial freedom. Having to not worry about if something happened, what am I going to do? It takes a lot of stress off you. Trust me, this is one of the biggest problems that a lot of people face, and this is how a lot of people end up in debt, just because they cannot offset an emergency in the event that one happens unexpectedly. And I mean, nobody plans an emergency, so you get what I mean? Like, it's just something that happens and you just have to be prepared for it. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to figure out, how much do I really need for this emergency fund? Now, there's no ballpark figure. It's not one size fits all. It's you having to sit down and think through what your expenses look like. And typically an emergency fund is supposed to be able to cover you for 3 to 6 months, at least 3 to 6 months, in terms of your expenses, whether it be your business expenses or your regular living expenses. So this is now where you need to figure out what it is each month that you spend on, and how much you would need in the event that you cannot work, or you lose your job, or there's a salary reduction or something like that. So you need to plan for these things, so just in case anything happens. I mean, in this pandemic, you don't know which card to play. You might wake up tomorrow morning and you say the whole world locked down, and best believe JPS still have a charge you because you still the home I use them lights, and NWC I say you still run water through them pipe, so they are gonna charge you. And you need to figure out, how am I going to live? You need food if you're renting or you have a mortgage. You need to figure out how you're gonna pay for your accommodation. So once you budget out how much it is that you need, what you're going to do is say, okay, realistically, how can I put this into my every month expenses so that I don't feel stressed out? Now, while I can say that having an emergency fund is important, I don't want you to feel like you have a bum flip back. I feel like I'm saying that a lot. Yeah, I don't want you to feel like you have to bum flip back way for make it work. Like, you don't have to stress yourself out to say, Jesus, I need $500,000. How am I gonna, what? And you're all over the place and you get flustered and you get frustrated and then you end up not doing anything. And that's counterproductive. It defeats the purpose, and that's not what we're here for. So realistically, put it in your monthly budget. Treat it as an expense. That's probably the easiest way. Oh, that's also something that I do with my savings. I treat the amount that I want to save each month as an expense. So that way it's non-negotiable. I cannot say, oh, I now but I save 50 this month, may I save 20 because I want to go do my ear or I want to go on a trip or no. You're gonna put it as a line item in your expenses. So after you get your money, after you take out your savings, you're gonna put my emergency fund money. You hear what I mean? Just put it as another line item in your budget. Drop it right there, so with your light bill, your water bill, your food, your transportation, all of them things there. You have to give it priority or else it's not gonna happen. You really have to put pressure on yourself in the lightest sense of that, really, because I just said don't pressure yourself. So you really have to put like some heavy priority in getting it done, or else it's gonna fall off. It's really gonna fall off your plate, and again, that's not what we're here for. We want to actually get it done. So once you figure out how much money you need and how much money it's gonna take you each month to get there, good, great. Step one done. Cool. So after you do that, now what you need to do is you want to put this money in a separate account from your savings and from your spending money. Now if your savings and your spending money in a one account, that is another problem for another day. May I tackle one thing at a time. So you need to put your emergency fund in another account. Now some people have different ways of treating this account. Some people say it's easier if you have a card linked to it. Some say don't link a card to it because you might draw it out and Cool. At the end of the day, where you keep this money is, I think it's in your best interest to decide how financially disciplined are you. You get me? So I personally think you should have a card linked to it, because again, it is an emergency, and if it's somewhere you have the emergency somewhere that don't take cards, I don't know which place that is, but and you just need straight cash to pay, you have a card easy. In the middle of the night, how you gonna transfer money and get it out at the bank when the bank lock from 2 o'clock and at like 2 o'clock in the morning the next day? How it's risky, and it don't make sense. You have an emergency fund that you cannot access easily in an emergency. So my personal opinion is have a card linked to it. Now if you're indisciplined like me, you give the card to somebody that you trust, and you can also reach them easily in the case of an emergency. So you can give it to somebody that you live with, you can give it to a partner, give it to a good friend, give it to a parent. It doesn't matter. Keep it out of sight, but always on your mind. You know what I mean? So that's just my take on it. Another take on it is you want to keep it in an interest accruing account, because really and truly everybody knows that the Jamaican dollar don't have no use and it's always losing value. So the $5,000 that you save this month and you save a next $5,000, that $5,000 don't carry the same weight as the $5,000 from the month before. And that's just facts, because cost of living is going up rapidly, as we can all see and feel it in our back pockets. So having it in an interest accruing account, great. The easiest one that I can think of right now is probably JMMB. I use them a lot. Any day name day them get an app, all of my money I go over there. So yeah, JMMB, it's an investment bank, so they give you money on your money every month. No, if not, but no, maybe, and it's not 20 cents and them take out 10 cents out of it. It's like, it's decent. You get what I mean? I'll link. This is not sponsored, by the way, but if anybody from JMMB wants to hire me, if anybody from JMMB wants to give me, you know, a little work, we got marketing, no problem, because I really do believe in their brand. Like, top tier. But anyways, I'll link the types of accounts that they have and the interest rates that they offer for each of them, and you can always take a look. Them not charge you for look. Yeah, them not charge you for look, so you can go look and see what your options are. Or if you want to keep it in a regular commercial bank where you get like 40 cents and then take out 20 one time for the year, be all it can be. Whatever works best for you, really. Honestly, I'm not dragging anybody. I'm not dragging any bank. Just, yeah, you decide what makes sense for you. And if you don't trust banks at all, but I still encourage you to save, I still encourage you to have money in case of an emergency, put it under a mattress, buy one tin saving pan, put the money in there, give the physical money to somebody that you trust to keep it for you. Because again, it really don't matter what you think about it, you're always gonna need money in case of an emergency. And you don't want to pop your neck one night, or you walk under the tree one day and one mango drop and bust your fire that you need stitches, and you can't pay for it. You now work and slave and do all these things all along if you can't take care of yourself. Like that's being able to take care of yourself is the biggest thing as an adult, and taking care of yourself costs money. The bigger the emergency, the bigger the money, and that's just how it is. Yeah. Okay, so now we're on to step number 3. So for step number 3, we need to create a list of things that define how we use this money that we're working so hard to save. These are things that black and white, cool, yeah, definitely an emergency, I will use the money for that. I have money for that. You understand? But to be realistic, there isn't like a hard and fast rule with this now, because this is really just for you, just to give you some structure to how you're going to manage this money. So just like how banks have criteria with what kind of loan you can take for what type of situation, you need to have some form of structure as well. So no, situations might happen that fall outside of the criteria. So obviously, you know, you use your judgment to decide, okay, is this an emergency or not? Can it wait? Do I have other money that I can use? Do I have any asset that I can liquidate to try and offset this cost that came up, but I don't think it warrants using my emergency fund? So it really is up to you to decide. So yeah, but getting things out the way, like understanding that wanting new aesthetic things for yourself, like a new watch, you want to do your hair, you want to fix something for your car, like change out lights and everything, not an emergency. You want a new laptop, but nothing wrong with the old one, you don't necessarily use a laptop every day, not an emergency. You want to go out with somebody because you pissed them off and you want to make up with them, not an emergency. Not an emergency. So yeah, just having some structure to how you manage that money can mentally make it easier for you to like develop that discipline to know that this is not an emergency. You're not gonna waste the money buying clothes and then the day when you left the shop or the concerts or wherever that you wore those new clothes to, you have an actual emergency and you burn up the money and buy clothes. That don't make sense. So yeah. And now lastly, how you can start your emergency fund or fluff up your emergency fund is you can look at things that you don't use anymore, things that are in good condition that you know somebody may use or want, and sell them. You have an old laptop, you have 2 laptops, one of them not so wonderful for you anymore, but somebody else might be willing to buy it. Put it out there. You don't know, you have a hair dryer, you have a blender, you have something spare, something old that you don't use but it's in good condition. Sell it and put that money towards the emergency fund. I think a lot of people find it easier to save when they have a head start on things, and normally people give money as a head start, but you can give it to yourself, you can give it to yourself. You don't know, like, figure it out. There are ways and means that you can get things done, you know. Or if you can do here, take it on as a project. Each month you do 3 people here, and you take half of the money for you, pay yourself. I'm a strong believer in paying yourself. Take half of the money there, pay yourself, do something nice for yourself because you work for it, and then put that other half into the emergency fund and fluff up your emergency fund. And before you know it, you probably reach the goal or surpass the goal and you not even realize, because it's so subconscious of you. It's in your subconscious now to, alright, every little time I get that extra money, put it down. Every time I do something, put it down. If I sell something, put it down. That's just my opinion. But yeah, these are things that I think could help you. It definitely has helped me. I had my own personal emergency the other day, and it just worked out seamlessly. I didn't have to be a bother to anybody, and I was able to take care of myself because I'm a big girl, I'm an adult, and this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're really supposed to do, take care of yourself. So yeah, never feel stressed out. I was already in a stressful situation, so it was good that I didn't have to be worried about money. It's unnecessary stress to worry about money when you can plan to have money. Yeah, I am glad I did this video. I really hope that it's helpful for somebody, anybody, really. If you take one thing away from this video, I am grateful. I am glad that you took the time out to watch it and support me on this YouTube journey. And I just want to continue bring meaningful, helpful content on my channel. It's not always a run up and down thing, okay? It's not always a run up and down thing over here. So I can sort out some things again next week, Saturday. So if you have any suggestions for me, you can link me personally, or you can comment it down below and let me know what type of content you want to see. As I said, it can come from any aspect of life. So yeah, just support me and I support you in however way I can. Yeah, that's really the end of it. So like, comment, share this video with one person that it might help, and don't forget to subscribe. Click the notification bell so that you don't miss any time when I post a new video, which will be more often these days, I promise. Yeah, so take care and be responsible, okay?